How's it going, everybody? Nerds Rising here, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at another one of the newly buffed Pokemon in Season 16, and that is Scorching Sands Kanto Sandslash. Now, Kanto Sandslash was previously not a Pokemon you saw super often, mainly just because the Alolan version is still better, but the addition of Scorching Sands makes this thing a lot more consistent, whereas typically it was running Earthquake previously, and Earthquake, although it is a decent move still, just makes it a lot more bait dependent when you're running Sandslash. And now with the Scorching Sands, you can pretty safely just go straight for the Scorching Sands and not really have to worry about baiting. So I really think this thing has a lot of play. I do think that Diggersby is probably overall a better ground type still, but honestly, I think you guys will be very impressed with the way this thing performs. And I honestly also had some very, very good success with this team. I had a 14-game winning streak, including all positive sets, and I believe I only had one 3-2. Every other one was either a 4-1 or a 5-0, and there are some truly incredible wins in this video as well. So we're going to be jumping right into it here. We're also running the trusty Defense Deoxys on the lead, as well as the newly buffed Greninja. And honestly, this is also the first time I've used Greninja, and this thing is so good, guys. There are so many Greninja sweeps in this video. With a shield advantage or an energy advantage, Greninja just absolutely goes off. So let's get into it here, into a Shadow Steelix in the first battle, and the opponent instantly swaps into an Araquanid, which is very bad for me. I have literally no answer for this thing on my entire team, and unfortunately, they're going straight for the Bubble Beam, and that means that they're going to be debuffing my attack, and this Thunderbolt is not going to be doing a lot of damage. Araquanid is already super bulky, and the counters are already resisted, and that Thunderbolt doesn't even get them below half health. They're just barely below half health now, and unfortunately, I was double debuffed. I kind of had to switch out of there, and I bring in the Kanto Sandslash just because I didn't really know what else to do. I can't bring in the Greninja. The Bug Bites would absolutely shred me. So I bring the Kanto Sandslash in, and unfortunately, they Bubble Beam me, and then they bring in a Tropius. They take advantage of the misaligned switch clocks, and this is just looking absolutely terrible. You're probably thinking, Nerds, you said you won 14 in a row. How in the world did you win this battle? And just wait, guys. This is a crazy battle. So Night Slashes, we are debuffed. They're not doing a lot of damage. I think the opponent makes a bit of a mistake here. Rather than just taking me out with the Leaf Blade, they go for an Aerial Ace, and then they actually undercharge it as well, which I definitely don't think is the play. I survive, I bank the energy, I bring back in the Defense Deoxys, and I actually land a Thunderbolt, which is massive, and I force them to throw their energy. So this is still not looking great, but we did get the Tropius fairly low, and we still do have two shields. They have two shields as well, but this is where you're going to see Greninja can just go absolutely off. So we shield up the Leaf Blade, and I'm already past 2 Night Slashes, guys. That is absolutely crazy. I've only done 6 Water Shurikens, and I get them to play into the CMP tie, which is massive. Do they want to give up their last shield? No, they do not, and I get the boost for the road. Let's go. They bring back in the Araquanid there. I'm already past another Night Slash. I get another boost. I take out the Araquanid, and I bait there. Really no reason to bait. I thought maybe I would get another Water Shuriken worth of damage off, but really it didn't matter because we got the shield and we brought in the Sandslash. We live on 2 HP, and we Scorching Sands the Steelix, and we take game 1 in style. So wow, what a roller coaster of a battle there. Somehow our Kanto Sandslash clutches it out there, but really it was double boosted Greninja that stole the show. As you guys are going to see in a lot of these battles, Greninja is just insane. So next battle, Poliwrath lead, and they're going straight for Power Punch, which is totally fine by me. I will be full sending the Thunderbolt here. They let it go, and we get the counter farm down. So the fact that they stayed in the lead there, which is a pretty bad lead for them, tells me they probably are going to be weak somewhere and back. So I will be Psycho Boosting here and dipping. And that is another reason why I really like the Defense Deoxys on the lead. The Psycho Boost and dip potential is just absolutely massive. As you guys who are long-term fans of the channel know, I really like Defense Deoxys, and I do actually use it on my signature team as well, which I probably will feature later on in the season. So they are full sending Mud Bombs here. I guess it's not really full sending because that is their cheap move, and Stone Edge to be resisted, but either way, they go for the Mud Bombs. We barely live it, and we get the second Scorching Sands off just before we go down. We get the attack drop as well, and they are now all shields down. And when Greninja has all shields down, guys, it is just absolutely broken. So we're going to be bringing the DD here just to absorb the damage, and now it is 2 shield Greninja time. We're going to shield up their Mud Bomb, and they are not switching out, which means they are definitely weak to this thing in the back. We farm up massively, recognize we could overfarm there, and we're going to take them out with a Night Slash. What is their final Pokemon? And it is a Skarmory. And this is just game over, guys. Look at how fast we just made the back-to-back Hydros. That is absolutely insane. and Hydro does well over half, which means the second one is easily going to KO. And Skarmory didn't even get like, I think Skarmory had like 4 air slashes there. So even if it was the old Skarmory that was not as slow as it is now, we still would have won that battle. So crazy, crazy sweep there by Greninja. And in the next battle, we have another Steelix lead. This time it's a non-shadow. And honestly, this is really not that good of a matchup. Unfortunately there, I took the move. I pivoted out the Kanto Sandslash, but they pivoted out into their Greninja at the same time. And there's just really no reason for me to shield that. They just drastically outpaced me, and Scorching Sands does a one-shot anyway, so I just elect to keep 2 shields for the Deoxys there. And I will throw the Thunderbolt here just before they make their move. I do make a bit of a mistake here. When they are on a move like Night Slash, you definitely want to let the first one go, because I could have lived that, but the issue is if they would have boosted there, this Night Slash would definitely have KO'd me. Fortunately, they didn't boost, so it didn't end up mattering, but I definitely should have let the first one go and then shielded the second, just as a general rule when the opponent is running a move like Night Slash, and they actually bring back in their Steelix to my Greninja. They let it go, and we see why now, because there's a Charizard in the back, and Greninja is going to absolutely feast on this back line. Another Greninja sweep coming up, and I think at this point the opponent's only win con is just to call a Night Slash bait, and they don't anyway, so I make the back-to-back. But yeah, if you're the opponent there, you have to realize your only win con is probably just to let the move go, recognizing I was going to outpace them anyway. But either way, they shielded up. The second one KOs, and that is a good game. So next battle, Pelipper lead, pretty neutral, and the opponent brings in an Obstagoon. So definitely not something you want to be bringing into a counter user, but they will actually live long enough to make 2 Night Slashes. So my plan is here, build up, catch the next Night Slash onto the Greninja, and I'm hoping now that with the Water Shuriken damage, I can farm them down before they make the next move, and I just perfectly do. They're probably going to be bringing back in that Pelipper, but now they're going to have to take multiple Night Slashes to the face. Greninja is so spammy. They shield the first one for some reason. Not really sure why, but that is totally fine by me, and they let the second one go. Again, making the same mistake that I did, really, in the last battle. And here, I actually go for the Hydro. I'm not sure. I was thinking at the time that maybe a resisted Hydro does slightly more raw damage than a Night Slash, but I could be wrong there. I'll have to look that up later, but either way, we get this Pelipper very low. We have a shield advantage. They have a Charizard in the back, and we get their final shield with that Thunderbolt, and we make another Thunderbolt before they throw. And now it looks like we're going to see a Kanto Sandslash sweep in this battle. I am now already at the Night Slash. I actually call a Dragon Claw. I had 2 shields. I called the bait, and they do bait me. And now I'm actually going to call another bait. Oh my gosh, I'm an absolute mad lad there. They let it go, and I have Deoxys now. And here I thought we were going to sweep with the Kanto Sandslash, but no, we're actually going to take it out with the Defense Deoxys here. I think I just recognized that the Pelipper had nearly back-to-back Weather Balls there. So crazy, they're just fully sacking my Kanto Sandslash, countering down, and that is going to be a G to the G. So yeah, I totally forgot that I did that there. Here I'm trying to feature Kanto Sandslash, and all I'm doing is just letting it be a meat shield. But either way, we get the win. Next battle, we have the Pidgeot lead. Pretty neutral lead. I think overall it probably does favor the Pidgeot, just because they can just Feather Dance us to smithereens, and they probably do win the zeros for that reason. What you're going to see here is I kind of was expecting them to Feather Dance again, so my play here was actually going to be to take the Feather Dance and then switch out and bank the energy, but they actually just full sent the Brave Bird there, which I was not expecting, and they have a counter user in the back and a Diggersby in the back. So by not preserving my Deoxys, I have made a very bad mistake. This is going to be a very difficult match to win now. As you see, Diggersby is very thick. 2 Scorching Sands will not quite KO. And here, I was thinking there's no way they bait me, but they bait me with a Fire Punch, which is really, really unfortunate. And I am going to go for another Scorching Sands here. I do get the attack buff, the attack debuff, excuse me. And now I'm thinking, they're debuffed. There's no way they'd bait again, right? And they bait again. I double shield Fire Punch baits, which is really, really bad. This game is going very poorly for me right now. They do actually shield that as well. I went for the snipe, and the opponent perfectly reads my play. They catch my snipe onto the Poliwrath, which is absolutely brutal. And hopefully they're not on Dynamic Punch. If they're on Dynamic Punch, which it appears that they are not, the game just would have been over. And here I overfarm for correct timing. I let them get to another move, but check this out. My good IV Greninja lives on 1 HP. And we get this Hydro Cannon off, which is absolutely massive. That chip damage is going to allow us to fully farm them down perfectly. And they have the Earthquake loaded, or the Hyper Beam. Can we live it? We barely live it. The new Earthquake debuff in there just saved us, basically. If the Earthquake was the standard 120 damage, we would have died there. But because of the nerf, we live it on 1 HP, and we farm down the Diggersby. So crazy battle there. Not really sure how we pulled that one off, but we managed to get the job done in the end. And we have a Swampert lead here in the next battle. This is not that great for Deoxys. I do kind of make a dumb play here. This is not a Shadow Swampert, so they really weren't incentivized to shield. And I bait with the Thunderbolt there, which is definitely not the play. I should have just gone for the Psycho Boost there. But fortunately, we still will win the zeros. Since it's a non-Shadow, we do live 2 Hydros just barely from the regular. And this Psycho Boost will KO, so they do commit this shield. So now, I didn't want them to farm me down. I want to keep that Deoxys as a potential catch later on, and I'm going to bring in the Greninja and get a massive energy head start. And they've got an Altaria, which is a really bad matchup for Greninja, but these Night Slashes are just so spammy. It's just insane, guys. We're already nearly at 3 Night Slashes. That is just not even right. It just truly is not even right how spammy Greninja is. They haven't even thrown a charge move yet, and we're already at 3 Night Slashes. They finally do throw. And at this point, I'm just going to put it all on the Kanto Sandslash. I think if I would have shielded that, they probably just would have farmed me down and then had lots of energy for my back Pokemon. So I decided to put it on the Kanto Sandslash. I could really use a boost right now. A boost would be really nice, but unfortunately, we do not get it. And I do actually outpace them. Altaria is so slow now. We make the next Night Slash on CMP. And let's see what the opponent has in the back. They bring back in the Swampert. I knew how much energy they had. And I catch the Hydro Cannon on my very low Deoxys, which is why I saved it. And as you're going to see, that catch actually ends up winning me the game because they have the new X-Scissor Beedrill in the back. And X-Scissor is now a very powerful move. It's just like Surf, so it definitely would have KO'd me. And the fact that I didn't have to give up my shield there with the catch means they have to go to the back-to-back, and they're not going to get there, and we take the win. So very nicely played by the opponent there. Very good game. And moving into the next battle, we have a Galarian Stunfisk, which honestly, G-Fisk is actually not a good matchup for Deoxys, same as Steelix, because our charge moves are fully walled. So I did pivot out there into the Kanto Sandslash, and unfortunately we are met with a Pelipper, which is really not a good matchup. But as you're going to see, the Kanto Sandslash with Night Slash, did I just say that wrong? The Kanto Sandslash with Night Slash, yes, I think I did say it right, is very spammy. As you see, I make it to 3 Night Slashes before they throw. I think they would actually live this, but they decided to shield anyway. And as you saw, I got the unnecessary boost as I went down. But this is perfectly fine by me. I can now bring in the Deoxys here, overfarm massively, and I should be able to just probably Psycho Boost and dip out of here and preserve my shield advantage. The opponent here is not building up to the Hurricane. I think you always do want to build up for the Hurricane. They're just going straight for the Weather Balls, which is totally fine by me. I overfarm slightly, and now I'm going to take this Pelipper out, and now it's going to be 2 Shield Greninja time. What do they have in the back? And it is a Noctowl. I still actually did see a handful of Noctowls, guys. I saw Skarmories as well. Excuse me. And I saw Altarias, so some people, I think, in the early season just did not get the memo that these Pokemon are just not as good, but we will absolutely take Noctowl, and we will absolutely wreck this Noctowl with our Greninja. As you see, we are massively outpacing them. They're already in the red health, and at this point, we can just go straight for Night Slashes. We massively overfarm because I wanted to make sure I had enough energy to get to a Hydro Cannon on the G-Fisk, and we're going to just throw right away. Normally, when you're running 3-turn into 2-turn, you want to throw 1 move and then the charge move, but I just recognized they were already at the move, so I had to Hydro Cannon right away, and we actually catch the Rock Slide onto the DG just to add a little insult to injury, and now we're going to Psycho Boost the G-Fisk for the win, and that is going to be a G to the G, so very well played to the opponent there. Moving into the next battle, we have a Bastiodon lead, and this team loves Bastiodon, but unfortunately they pivot into a Shadow Vic, which is really scary. I do throw my Psycho Boost just before they make their move, but this is really unfortunate. Depending on the IVs of the Vic, sometimes they can actually fully farm you all the way down before you even make 3 Psycho Boosts, and fortunately we do not get the Leaf Tornado debuff there. That would have probably lost me the game, but since we don't, we're able to take it out. They recognize that we were at the back-to-back there, so they just let it go, and they have a Medicham in the back, which is not great. But this is where the Sandslash has the edge over Diggersby, because we're not taking super effective damage from the counters, and we're actually able to get that debuff as well, which is massive, and that means their counters are going to do even less damage. And if they were on Ice Punch, which it appears that they're not, we easily would live one. And as you're seeing, 2 Scorching Sands plus the Mud Shots basically does KO a Medicham, which is very nice. And they do go for the Psychic. We do get KO'd, but now we have gotten this thing low enough to where our Defense Deoxys should be able to take it out. They're actually make kind of an interesting play, and I'll show you why here. Let's just back it up for a second. I believe as I'm about to get taken out here, if you look, my switch clock was not quite up, and if I bring in the Defense Deoxys here, the Bastiodon, I recognize the Bastion probably could come in and smack me down before I could get out of there and preserve the Deoxys, because I need this Deoxys to take out the Medicham in the back. So I actually bring in the Greninja, calling that they're going to instantly switch into the Bastiodon, and I want to preserve that Deoxys to take care of the Medicham. So as you're going to see, I bring in the Greninja, which is kind of a big brain play, and actually my switch clock did end up coming up anyway, but it was just, I wasn't sure if it was up, and it would have been very risky to come in and potentially sacrifice my my Deoxys to the Bastiodon before I could switch out of there. So the nice thing about the Greninja matchup is 2 Hydro Cannons actually does KO a Bastiodon, so we didn't even end up needing the Deoxys in the end. But even if we would have gotten countered down there, Deoxys was healthy enough to where we could have gotten to a Psycho Boost against the Medicham. So very well played to the opponent there. Next battle, we had the Deoxys Mirror, and I believe this actually was the battle that ended my win streak, if I remember correctly. The opponent does catch the Thunderbolt onto a double, and this is actually fine because this is actually where I need to see the double. The crazy thing is here, I was thinking that maybe this was my signature team because we've already seen Deoxys and we've already seen double, and if you know my signature team, the back Pokemon is actually a Diggersby, but I don't remember what the back Pokemon is. But either way, I knew they were at the back-to-back moves there, so I throw the Night Slash on CMP to their next move. Are they willing to commit a shield? And yes, they are, and I think at this point, they probably just double kick me down, so I just elect to let my Greninja go down, and I'm just going to give my Deoxys a 2-0 shield advantage here. We're going to come in, we're going to farm them all the way down. I don't think they make a payback here. I think this is just going to be a body slam. It is a body slam, and what are they going to come in with here? Do they bring back in their own Defense Deoxys? Yes, they do. And I was going to try to catch the Thunderbolt, I believe is my plan here. So I overfarm. They actually end up throwing their Thunderbolt right away. And at this point, we're saving our shields for the 2-shield Kanto Sandslash. And they are probably going to Psycho Boost and dip here. So I will shield this up. What is their final Pokemon going to be? And unfortunately, it is a Pidgeot. And this, I don't know if I can win this now, because Night Slashes are not going to be doing that much damage. But I get the boost, and the boost may end up saving me here. It is still going to take 3 Night Slashes to KO here, but I have to call this correctly. Is it the Brave Bird? I shielded. It is the Brave Bird. But the issue here is this Deoxys has the Psycho Boost loaded, and they will probably KO me with that Psycho Boost. So I called that I needed to catch the move, and they didn't throw right away, and I ended up getting farmed down, and then they were just going to Psycho Boost my Sandslash anyway. So what looked like a potentially winnable endgame there ended up failing me because of my failed catch. But yeah, I think looking back on it, if I wouldn't have gone for the catch and they would have Psycho Boosted me right away, I probably would have been kicking myself for not catching on the Deoxys. So, you know, it's just one of those calls you make in the moment. But either way, we lose that game, but we still have some more wins to show you guys. There, I should definitely have gone for the Hydro. I thought Night Slash would be enough, but Gligar is actually very bulky compared to Gliscor. It is very, very bulky. But the nice thing is, I can still get this shield back from the Hitmontop with the Hydro Cannon, because Hydro Cannon would do a lot of damage, and this is a very bad matchup for the Hitmontop. They've got a Registeel in the back, and that right there, guys, is just what I was saying about how the Deoxys is just such a good core breaker, because there are a lot of Pokemon that have a fighter, like a Medicham, and a Steel type, and even against things like Knockdown, Pidgeot, Deoxys just puts in so much work against so many different Pokemon, and here, I get their last shield, and I'm now just going to save my shield for the Deoxys, because a Thunderbolt plus the counters will nearly KO here, and we knew that we needed the Deoxys for the Hitmontop, so really no reason to choose shield the Sandslash, in my opinion. As you're going to see, I'm just going to shield up here, and I'm just going to Psycho Boost the Hitmontop here, and then Thunderbolt the Registeel as it comes back in, because even if they have a move, we will win CMP against the Registeel. We farm them down, we have the Thunderbolt loaded, and that is going to be all she wrote. So very well played to the opponent there. They did what they could, considering they were core broken by the Deoxys, and they made that very close in the end game, despite the rough lead for them. And I believe we are into the last 2 battles, guys. We have Shadow Victory Bell in the lead. Just a really annoying Pokemon, and they tried to catch the Thunderbolt, or maybe the Psycho Boost, I'm not really sure, but I decided there just to save the energy on the Deoxys and bring in my own Greninja here, just recognizing that it doesn't have a lot of play against the Vic. I will actually call this. I knew it was just a Hydro Cannon, and I built up to the back-to-back here just because I want to make sure I can get a move off on this Victory Bell. And what you're going to see is I make a very risky play, I go for correct timing there, and those 2 Razor Leafs nearly KO me. I live on like 2 HP. They do end up shielding it, and now we do have over 2 Psycho Boosts loaded. I think I wait a turn here just to make sure they don't catch. And no, actually just throw it right away. A little bit risky. I definitely should have waited a turn, but I do get the second Psycho Boost off. And at this point, I actually am going to shield, I think, because if I try to bring in my Kanto Sandslash... No! I called an Acid Spray bait. Oh my gosh. I'm an absolute mad lad there. Holy crap. If they would have Leaf Bladed me there and KO'd me, my Sandslash would have taken so much damage from those Razor Leafs. But I'm a mad lad. I call the Acid Spray, and there's a G-Visc in the back. We still have a shield. Wow, what a crazy win there. I forgot about that one. Looking back at that, I'm like, why did I not shield that? But I apparently just knew something then that I did not know watching this back. But either way, we take the win, and we're into the final battle, guys. The newly buffed Mandibuzz, a very strong pick right now, but this is a very, very bad thing to see on our whole team. And I noticed that the opponent threw on good timing initially, so I called that they're going to throw on good timing there, and I actually catch the move onto my Greninja. Or did they throw on bad timing? Maybe they threw on bad timing, and I recognized that they were going to throw on bad timing. So either way, I was paying attention more so than I am now. I make the catch onto the Greninja, and that is massive for me because I have energy on my Deoxys still, and we waste a lot of the Mandibuzz's energy. And they bring in a Powder Snow A9 to the Greninja, and despite the fact that they're a fairy to a dark type, this is really not a good matchup for them whatsoever. As you're going to see, we got them so low that we can just go straight Night Slash now, and we're already at the back-to-back Night Slashes. So if they shield, we're going to get the second one off. And I think, yeah, they recognize that, and we get to a Hydro Cannon against the Mandibuzz. So we're just putting in so much work with the Greninja, guys. It is just so incredibly spammy. And now I didn't want them to have back-to-back moves there by farming down the Greninja. So I actually aggressively bring in my Defense Deoxys, recognizing that the Mandibuzz is low enough now to where we can probably just finish this game out with the Kanto Sandslash. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to let the move go through. I still have the Greninja as a catch if I need it, and I still have a shield. At this point, Kanto Sandslash is going to do the honors in the final battle here, guys. One move is not going to do that much damage from this Dunsparce. It doesn't even do half. I'm just going to massively overfarm here and get this Scorching Sands off, and then I probably will need 2 Night Slashes for the Mandibuzz, but we're still not even in foul play range, so this is just going to be a comfortable end game here for the Sandslash. As you're seeing, this thing is just so spammy now with the Night Slashes and the Scorching Sands. It is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with, guys, in this current meta. But anyway, we're going to take it out with the Night Slash here. This actually just barely might not KO, just because Mandibuzz is just so brokenly bulky, but one more Mudshot does the job. And that is going to be all she wrote, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping you're enjoying my content recently. My views have been down, and I think part of that's just because there are so many videos coming out right now from Jonkus and Home Slice. All the big guys are putting out like 3-4 videos a day with all the new Pokemon, and I just cannot put out that kind of content, guys. I just have too much going on in my life right now, but I hope you guys will like this video. Even if it's not your favorite ever, smash the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't, because the more subscribers we can get, the more Pokemon my wife will let me play.